start with an opening statement from head coach Dan D'Antoni?
Tough ball game. That team come at you. They're older. They're like 23, 24, 25-year-olds. But, they spread you out. They come at you in waves. And we played pretty well and had to, play really hard. Anytime you get a team play hard against you, it's going to be a good game at this level. Whether it's their level, our level, it doesn't matter. If they're beyond high school and they're in their 20s, it's going to be a good ball game. And I thought they did a good job. Coach does it well. They're spreading them out. He's expecting a real good team this year. And yet, we scored 103 points. Everybody was worried about us being able to score. Oh, we lost our two major scorers. We're not going to be able to put it in the basket. Well, guess what? We can move the ball. We got shooters. Play multiple positions. We're going to get better. This team's going to grow. And this is just kind of starting for this group. So should be interesting. Should be a good year. I hope all the people get out here. We open up with Queens. And they packed the place when we went down there. And, I mean, it was packed. And they were waiting on us. We kind of went into a quagmire there, and they played with the intensity of their crowd, and we weren't quite ready for it. But hopefully when they get here, this exhibition will help us. It'll get us ready for this team coming in here. But it's going to be a fun year and a good year, and we're going to put up some points.
How about Wyatt's performance tonight?
Wyatt's got he's athletic as darn. Boy, he can really just burst, but he's also a very good shooter. As he ages into this game a little bit, he'll get a little bit more control over his what he wants to do, and he'll see it a little bit better. But what do you have? What do you end up with, Fricks? 22. He's 5 of 8 from free throw, so I'm going to have to jump on him about that. He's too good of a shooter to do that. He had 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers. I mean, it's good, but he's athletic and very capable. Last year he stayed hurt all the time. It's hard to get him any rhythm into the game because he got hurt, but he seems to be over that now. He doesn't get hurt in practice like he used to, and he's always kind of ready. So a little bit stronger, a little bit heavier, but a lot stronger. So good things out of Wyatt, I believe.
Does team stress you in any way that you weren't expecting tonight, or did you go pretty much close to what you would think?
The other team was better than what I thought. I didn't know they would shoot the ball quite as well, and I didn't realize how strong they were. But I should have because they're 23, 24, and I know what I graduated. I think 21, barely 21. No, I didn't got to 21. I was 20. So I know when I went to the men's league at 24, 25, I was a much better player. And you just get stronger as a male. So, but I liked what our kids do. We got I thought our 2 freshmen played extremely well, with it. The pressure didn't bother him. Kyson missed a couple shots he normally will make every day in practice, but he hit one, got one to go down for him. And I thought Nutter played an outstanding game. He's strong with the ball and made some nice passes. I don't know what is his line. He had 2 of 3 and missed 1 3, 1 of 2. And had 5 points, but 2 rebounds, 2 assists. I don't know about that. I thought he had more assists. I'd have to look at that one, but they're probably right, and as usual, I'm probably wrong. So it was a good ball game. I thought those 2 freshmen played well. Boyles is a scorer. Cam's a scorer. The other Cam, Crawford, is a scorer. He didn't score as much this time, but he will. So it's going to be a fun season, and it's going to be a lot of ups and downs, highs and lows. But this team will gel. They're athletic and they're long, so we're going to be fine.
You always talk about a live ball, and it seemed tonight, as the game went on, things started popping and kind of playing the way you hoped they'd be playing this time of the year.
Well, that's the thing that's going to grow. As they feel each other, they'll know where that ball needs to go. And I think I coined the phrase. I'm pretty sure I did. I've never heard it before, the athletic ball. And we got it going. It was the mover. They can't catch up. There's only so fast. They can only be so fast. And if you're moving the ball and they're pressing, I thought we got down. We got some easy shots against their press. I thought we moved it up the floor well and didn't turn it over that bad. A team that pressed you that hard, how many we have? 14. It's not too bad. It's a little high. I'd like to see about 10 or 9. But that's not bad with a team that pressed as hard as they pressed.
Now, you didn't have Nate Martin tonight. tonight, but after 2 exhibitions, are you starting to get a better feel for maybe rotations or who plays better with who and all that?
Well, yeah, I think, Nate will find his way back in there, and Fricks will find starter minutes. He may not start, but he'll find starter minutes. And once that happens, we're pretty deep. I mean, if you think about it, I'm not afraid to play Kyson, and he's on down there. Nutter, you got Chase can get in there for a while. Toussaint can get in there for a while. There's 9, 10 players pretty quick. Marco came in, hit one in the corner. I just thought the game was a little too fast for him, but there's some games he can throw darts at the rim now. So if the game slows down a little bit, you got another guy. If we run into a real big guy, we got G. So we got some different looks that we can throw at people and play against people.
What are you looking for between now and game time on Monday? What do you want to see?
Well, just keep getting better. I don't think there's anything that you pinpoint. This team didn't let you run any sets. I mean, you just moving the ball, stay spaced, and take advantage of their doubles and gambling. So we really didn't get to see what a set offense will look like when we play most of the teams that we'll play this year. So we'll go back, work on that, and make sure we're ready for that. They went into the zone. We didn't quite get into the alignments that we like, and we got to talk to them about that. But there's a lot of things you go on film. I thought loose balls, they seem to be able to come up with all of them. Now, we didn't reach and through the ball or whatever. We jumped too much in the first half defensively. And I would have we pressed the whole time, which is what they like to do. And if that had been a real game, I would have backed it off after about 4 minutes, and we'd have played a little more conservative, which would have cut down their penetration and their gaps, and we could have used our length more. So, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go ahead and test it and see how far we can run against a team that can spread you out, and they're used to playing that way. So it was good. It was a good experience. I appreciate them coming. We had a good crowd, I thought, and the band played, and heck, I'm getting younger by the minute. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
When you talk about Kirkman, the last 2 games, I mean, his release is quick, but he looks like he's maybe even better shape. But it just seems like every time I looked, he wasn't missing. I mean, he was 50% tonight, and what he did in the second half last game. How instrumental is he in what he's been able to do, I guess, in the offseason?
Well, he's one of the older ones we have. That's what happens when you get around 22. And he's come back with the idea. He lost 15 pounds, maybe 20. He was pretty close. 15, probably 15 pounds, and he did that so he could be quicker, play this style. Obviously, he's one of America's best shooters, and he's quick with his shot, and he doesn't have range. I mean, it's everywhere. He doesn't have a limited range. It's everywhere. So he's going to be the vocal leader, and, Kevon will step in there a little bit, and we get Nate back and get a little physicality inside, and you put Nutter in there, you get him physical. I tell you what, that new charge rule is going to be tough. Whew. You can't take a charge. You might as well just jump up in the air, But they've kind of ruled that out because the 2 they called on Nutter, they were close and they were a long way out. But I can't fault the referees because I think that's where the rule went. So it's going to be a little different game as far as off the ball charges.
Not directly related to tonight's game, but the changes in the NIT format and who gets in, and the auto bids for the regular season winners go away. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it's a money grab, and they're going to try to do that with the NCAA. And there's Power 6 conferences, and football's Power 5, but basketball's Power 6 with the Big East. And they're trying to make all the big 2 tournaments all them. Now I hope they don't do that because they'll take away the most exciting part of the NCAA tournament to me is the upsets in the first, second round, So and Florida Atlantic getting where they got to, those are fun games. St. Peter's at one time got there, Those make it interesting and fun. It kills the gamblers, because they ain't figured it out. They lose all their money, but I hope they don't do that. Again, basketball is a tournament game. That's the most important part. I know regular season, okay, it has its strength. I get that. But it's still a basketball game. That's why the NBA went to an inside the season tournament. It's because that's the way basketball played. It's one and out, one and out. And it makes every game you got to focus. So, we'll keep doing what we do here. I try to bring them along. I know I get criticized sometimes for not having them early ready so that we can win the season title. And I want to win a season title, but I want my team playing as good as it can be when we hit that tournament, because that's the ultimate prize. And so, how far we've come along, we'll bring his team as quick as we can, but I'm not going to bring it to a point and then go downhill when we hit the tournament. We want to be running uphill, not downhill when we hit that tournament. So we'll try to judge that the best we can. We come out and play every day. It's here to enjoy, The band was great. Had a good crowd. We get better. It's fun. And that's what it should be. These kids come here to play it. It's fun. Yes, we want to win. And a lot of people get that. If you're having fun, well, you're not really trying to win. Yes, we are. That's garbage that you think you have to growl to win. You don't have to growl. You just go out there and play the best you can. Be as active and good with your teammates and move the daggone basketball and play for Marshall. And then we'll see what happens, and we'll enjoy the ride.
I don't know if you were aware, but Bobby Knight passed away. Any thoughts?
Bobby Knight was a good friend of mine, and I can tell you 2 little stories if y'all want to hang in there. One, he recruited a kid I had, Cortland Freeland, who went to Georgetown, but he came in, and I had a night. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. I had a knock on my classroom. I was teaching psychology, and knock on the door, and I look and I see this face in the window there at the door. It's Bobby Knight, So I look over. I said, "Bobby, what are you doing?" He said, "Man, I want to see Cortland. Go get Cortland. I got to talk to him." So I said, "Well, he's not around. I got to go get him." I said, "Can you watch my class?" And so he said, "I got your class. Go and go get him." So I go out there and I get Cortland, and I come back and I start to open the door to get Bobby Knight. He's teaching. He had them down. He was working. Those kids were working their tails off. And I started to walk in with Cortland. He said, "I got him. Wait till the bell." And so he taught them for another 30 minutes in my classroom. And then the other good story I had on him, he came down, like I said, I've known him for a while, good friend. And he always loved to be able to say, "When I meet you, I'll remember your name forever." And when he did clinics, he would do kids, and he'd go down John, George, Bob, Bob, Bob. Once he met them, then as he started the clinic, he'd say, "Bob, come here. George, come here." And it was like he never missed. He always had the right name with the right kid, and he came. Well, he came to Sauk City High School and did a one-man basketball clinic. Had 3,000 coaches from South Carolina at Sauk City High School. And I had 2 identical twins. All right, and I told my twins, I said, "Come here." Eric and Derek was their name. So I told Eric, I said, "Eric, you get down on this end. Derek, you get on that end. And when he comes by, I shake and tell him your hand. I tell him your name." So he goes down to Eric, and then he goes down the rest of them. He gets down to Derek. "Okay, Derek, good." So he goes out there and turns around, and I told him, "Switch." So they switched. So they switched. And so he goes, "Eric, come here." And he just, I told him, I said, "Now, if he doesn't call you by right name, don't go. Just stay there." So he goes, "Eric, come here." "Hey, Eric," I said, "come here, come here." He just stood there. "Hey, son, you can't hear me?" He said, "My name's Derek." But I thought that was funny. He looked over, he said, and I can't use the words he used, but the Dan Tony was the end of it. But it was a good story, and he was good for basketball. Tough guy, big. He was menacing figure, but he always took care of his players. At the end of the years, and when they graduated, he took care of them. He found jobs for them. He did right by the players that played for him. He was tough on them when he had them, but he did right by them when they left. So my hat's off to him. Basketball lost a giant. And, you don't go undefeated in the season and not be a good coach. And he had one undefeated season. That's very, very difficult and really rare. I don't think anybody has touched it since. So maybe back to Wooden area. Maybe did Wooden have one? I don't even know if he had one. But perfect season, that's really tough. All right, fellas.